Hey everyone, I thought I would do an episode. I haven't been able to do an episode just because there's been a lot that's been going on. I had some people visiting for a while. I changed jobs. I had about a week off, but I was kind of helping out with people visiting and taking care of that. And then I had some more other people visiting for a wedding and just a lot going on. But yeah, I wanted to do an episode on something that I personally kind of struggle with this and trying to cope with and deal with this better. And I really think it's important. It may seem kind of obvious to some people, but for those dealing with like chronic health problems, chronic health conditions, I see this fairly common, and that is people really need a good sense of like connection, but also community and like supportive community. And this means like family, friends, like healers, coaches, like health coaches, doctors, naturopaths, and other stuff, and people that can understand you and relate to you, but also that's like positive and nurturing and will help guide you and point you in the right direction, because it's really hard to heal. I think in kind of isolation you can do it, and I do tend to see myself personally, because I don't feel good, I kind of stick to myself and I kind of isolate and stuff like that. And it's really hard, especially depending on kind of living situation and kind of like work as well too, because either you have to do part-time or work from home and other stuff, which can also be kind of isolating as well too. But I think it's also good to find like a nurturing, positive job and not work in a toxic, hostile job. And to be honest, that's something I struggle with, because I've worked in quite a few toxic places and have been around toxic people and stuff like that. And sometimes it's really hard to, like, sometimes if you're able to just like cut them off, but if you can, like, limit exposure and stuff like that, but also set up boundaries and stuff like that, because but also like be honest. And I think another thing is kind of reframe or reaffirm is that not be so identified with kind of your health problems and health conditions, but accept that you're healing, you're on a healing journey and stuff like that, because I do think people can heal from nearly about everything. It's just a matter of it hasn't been found or proven scientifically, or you just need to find another way or change your mindset and other stuff like that, because it's really helpful. It's like you can't really grow plants or anything in nature. It's hard to, like, in isolation, because there's the ecosystem and stuff like that, but also in poor environments, if it's not getting the right amount of sun, water, nutrients and stuff, it's not going to prosper. And that's kind of how people are. We're really like social animals. We maybe evolved more to some degree than other animals, but we do need connection and stuff like that, and we need support and we need help. And it's okay if you need help and stuff like that. Like, I think if you're struggling and stuff, I think people should do it discreetly and stuff like that. I don't think you should technically info dump or trauma dump on just any random people and stuff like that. But if you find people that you especially have like similar health conditions and stuff like that and connect with and stuff, and this is something that I'm trying to work on. It's especially hard because I kind of live in an isolated area. I kind of live outside of a small town, so literally to do anything aside from my parents, I have to drive, and most of the time my interaction is with co-workers and stuff like that. I have found some resources. There is a book, I haven't read it yet, but I am a fan of Teal Swan, and I believe it's The Loneliness Epidemic, or the book she wrote specifically on loneliness. And for someone that's a bit on the shy, introverted side, although I do kind of more identify as being an ambivert, it kind of depends on the situation, is finding commonalities and finding, if you can, Facebook groups or meetup and stuff like that with local interests and stuff like that, and meeting up around that. Although I haven't had a ton of success because I still can't kind of live in a remote area, but I have found some groups. There's like spiritual groups I found that kind of like spiritual healing, and a lot of them have health problems and personal issues and stuff like that. I do think online connection, even if it's audio or video, I think audio or video is better than text and stuff like that. But in-person interaction where you can have like skin contact and stuff like that, if they're comfortable and stuff, getting hugs and stuff like that. And you can also supplement of this sorts with, getting massages and chiropractic and acupuncture, which I think are good for overall health and self-care and self-growth and stuff like that. But this is really, it may be obvious to, some people that maybe aren't dealing or struggling with chronic health problems, but to kind of try and find your tribe, try and connect, because I have found some people, even if they are perhaps health coaches that I follow and talk to online, that have similar kind of health problems, because diagnoses and symptoms can really vary. I think I've talked about this before. I'm not a big fan of the traditional Western allopathic method of, diagnosis, and then they mostly just treat the symptoms and stuff like that. Especially in like psychology, I see that. But yeah, even though like sometimes like it's hard to even describe some of the symptoms and issues that I kind of deal with. I kind of label it as fibromyalgia and a few other things, but it really varies person to person, but you can find people and you can connect. And I think it's really important to like connect with people and share, and even people that you can talk about healing stuff with, supplements and detox and digestion and all this other stuff, because a lot of, I want to say, what is it? Because I am neurodivergent, normies or neurotypicals, you talk about that stuff and they might not understand and not quite comprehend, because for them, the average person, they don't have a ton of health stuff going on, so they can't relate. But when you're kind of in survival crisis mode, a lot of time in healing crisis mode, you're trying and doing so much stuff and all that. But I think it's also good to like, find fun and hobbies and stuff, even if it's hard to like kind of enjoy it. Like, martial arts, I had to really dial back, not only to find the time, but the energy and kind of money and resources, because I still do like some Tai Chi, and I watch like, martial arts shows and movies and stuff like that. And that's another way to connect with, perhaps other martial arts. Like I follow people on social media that do stunts and tricking and stuff like that too. Anyways, I just want to do this quick one. I'm probably going to release like 2 back-to-back. I'm thinking of different ideas and stuff like that. I want to kind of do one on methylation and maybe more on detox and other stuff like that too, because there's just so many topics and stuff like that. And even perhaps an episode on testosterone, because that is something I have been working on myself, and my perspective on that has kind of changed, but I'll have to dive into that into another kind of episode in the future. So anyways, hope you're all doing well. If anyone wants to be on my podcast, if you want me on your podcast, if you want to collaborate, if you need help with your health, feel free to reach out to me, or if you have any questions and stuff, I'm always free. Refer it to my Gmail is probably the best way, my Psynautical Gmail. I don't really get, at least for now, a ton of emails and stuff like that. That's probably the best way. I also have a Facebook page. I have a YouTube channel. I also have a Facebook group if you feel like joining that too, and connecting there as well too. But yeah, I hope all is well, and I'll see you guys next time.